it's Jamie and I like dinosaurs and I wear glasses and I'm all cute and geeky and adorable. That was really bad. Hi guys, it is not Jamie, it is Shaba. For those of you who don't know me, I am Jamie's girlfriend. No, I'm not. I'm Jamie's fiance. We have been together for over 6 years now, and today I am hijacking his channel. Jamie thought it'd be a good idea for me to do the video, so he has left me with a list of questions that he wants me to answer in terms of, or in relation to, being a partner of someone who is trans. Does that make sense? Before I continue, I just want to say the real Jamie will be appearing at the end of this video with 2 announcements that he would like to make, so please stick around for that. But in the meantime, you're gonna have to put up with me. My hair is not performing today, but this lighting is amazing. No wonder Jamie's videos always look so good. Earlier on today, Jamie left me with his beautiful notebook that says nothing is impossible. I love it, it's got a pineapple on it. And he has also left me with a list of questions. I'm just going to go through these one by one and just ramble on with answers. I hope you find it interesting. I hope you find it useful. For those of you who don't know, Jamie and I were best friends before he was Jamie, before he came out as trans, for about a year. So, question number 1. Did you know each other before he transitioned? I kind of just answered that. Yes, I knew Jamie before he transitioned. I think we knew each other for like a year and a half maybe, and it took us like a few months to actually like each other and then become friends. Then we were friends for a year. He came out in the summer in between the 2 years we went to college, and so that was around like June, July time, I think. Jamie's the one that's good for dates, not me, sorry. But then it was November that year that we tried to sort of be a couple. We gave it a go and look where we are now. This chair is so big. Oh. Number 2, did this help with seeing a romantic potential? Interesting. I think this question has a lot to do with personality as well. I'm the kind of person that doesn't sort of do short-term relationships. I like to really get to know people before I enter something romantic. So yeah, I guess it did help. It's really weird thinking back, because although I knew Jamie really well for about a year before he even came out, when he did come out, it was kind of like making friends with a new person in terms of how I saw him, how I perceived him, and how he sort of acted, because he was just so much more confident once he was out and, you know, passing and being treated in the way he thought he should be treated. So yes and no. I mean, it helped in terms of us knowing each other and having that foundation of friendship. I mean, we loved each other, we just weren't in love, you know? But at the time, I identified entirely straight. I never even saw pre-Jamie as anything but a really good friend. Like, I never saw us pursuing anything romantically. It's only when I saw Jamie as a guy after he came out, and when, I don't know, things just sort of naturally progressed into us doing sort of flirty things that then meant something different, that we sort of looked at it that way. This is really cringy to talk about. Next question. How did he come out to you? So I have a bone to pick with Jamie about this, because I was actually the last person he told, as in close friends and family. He told his mum first, and then he told a group of our friends, and he told me last. Basically, he was worried that I was going to not be friends with him anymore, or he wasn't sort of sure how I was going to take it, because my family that I was living with, all on my mum's side, are very sort of strict and very cultural and quite religious. So he was worried that we were going to not be friends. He invited me over to his shed one day and he was like, "Hey Shelby, I really need to talk to you." So I went over and he said, "You know LGBT?" And I was like, "Yeah." I think he was really cool, knowing what the acronym meant. He said, "Well, I'm the T." And I just didn't know what that meant. I'd heard what LGBT was. I knew about sexual minority. I just never knew what the term transgender meant. So I sort of just went, "Sorry, I don't know what that is." And when he explained what it meant to be transgender and that that's how he was feeling and how he'd sort of spent all summer looking into it, etc, etc, and he really thinks that that's what he is, it just made sense. I got it. Jamie was always very masculine as it was. He just lit up and was so confident and so sure of himself. It just made sense. So I was like, okay, cool. So what do I do now? So obviously we spoke about pronouns, we spoke about a new name, we spoke about how Jamie could sort of approach the college about this and sort of tell his wider community, and then we spoke about what this meant for us in the terms of our friendship, because I went to that college on a condition with my parents that I didn't make friends with boys. And to be fair, I didn't go out and make friends with boys. I didn't know that my best friend, who I thought was a girl, was actually male. So I still take no responsibility for that. But yeah, my parents were not very cool with it. And for a while I tried not to tell them, but just because Jamie came up so much in conversation because we were so close, it was just a bit weird. So I ended up having to tell them, and obviously they weren't cool with it, and we still carried on our friendship. It was just sort of on the down low. Okay. Next question. I feel really nervous and I'm not entirely sure why. I think it's because I know this is going out onto Jamie's channel and I have no idea how this video is going to be perceived. Okay, overall, what has it been like being with a trans guy? Incredibly broad, I know, sorry, hard. Yeah, that is really broad, Jamie. What has it been like being with a trans guy? I mean, I've never been with a trans guy before, and by been, I mean being in a relationship with, let's not take it there. At the beginning, it was really different. Because of the stage that Jamie was at, he'd just come out, he just started socially transitioning, he then just started medically transitioning. I'd been with him through all of that process. It was a different experience to previous relationships. There was no doubt that there was some sort of societal influences, should I say. People would look, people would question, and obviously my family had like a massive aversion to it, which I think meant basically that we had to fight for our relationship a lot more than, I can't even compare it to anything. We just had to fight a lot for our relationship. So in that sense, it was really intense to be with a trans guy. It was also a lot of learning. It was a new experience for both of us. For me, learning about trans people, for Jamie, coming to terms with the fact that he was trans himself and going through that process himself. And so it added an additional sort of element to our relationship, which meant we sort of communicated a lot more and were quite in sync with how each other felt. Does that make sense? Except for the transitioning process that I was sort of exposed to, there was no real difference. I mean, I guess it's just like any other difference with any other guy. Some are more emotional, some are more playful, some are more serious. Jamie was just Jamie. And our relationship was just unique because we are two unique people coming together. There's obviously no hiding that the bedroom stuff was going to be a lot different, but that's just between Jamie and I. Yeah, except for being exposed to the whole transitioning process and the bedroom stuff, Jamie being transgender didn't actually impact our relationship in any other way than being with different personalities would. I feel like I'm not making very much sense. I'm sorry if this doesn't make much sense. Have there been any negatives to having a trans partner? Obviously the family contention has been the biggest obstacle and negative aspect to our relationship, and that is something that took time, but we are getting over, which is great. Apart from that, not really. I guess there was a time, or a long period of time should I say, where Jamie was really struggling with his own transition, as people would, you know, going through such a giant and permanent change, physically, emotionally, socially. There were times where that was quite rough, where we struggled to communicate properly. I know, for example, when he was waiting for top surgery, there was massive tension there. Jamie would bind and he felt that it was something he really needed to do, whereas I didn't see that need. What I did see was how in pain he was physically and how uncomfortable it made him physically, and how it stopped him from doing things like we would be riding our bikes and he would just stop and sort of collapse in a heap of unbreathing mess, and I'd have no idea what was going on because he just wouldn't tell me about it because he was, I guess in some ways, embarrassed or just, I don't know. So things like that were really difficult because I didn't truly appreciate or understand at the time how hard it was to not bind, and therefore got really frustrated at him with why he felt the need to do it 24/7. So yeah, that kind of tension, I guess, was a negative. Okay, there is one big negative, and I imagine this will come up again in future questions, and that is in the terms of kids. With Jamie being transgender, we aren't able to conceive as a natural couple, and I guess that is a negative because I really would like biological children that are both my own and Jamie's. That's not to say that it can't happen. Technological developments are happening quite quickly, and it could be a possibility in our future, but if it's not, it's again no different to any other couple being together where one of them just happens to be infertile. I could have fertility issues. Another guy could just have fertility issues for another reason that's nothing to do with being transgender. Okay, next question. For balance, what about positives? Positives about having a trans partner. One of the biggest positives for me, and I know this is going to sound so cliche, is sort of being exposed to trans issues. I had no idea what it was beforehand. Sorry, my bum is going so numb right now. I had no idea what trans issues were initially, or how much work there was to be done in terms of LGBT plus equality and rights, and being exposed to that has meant that Jamie and I have been able to contribute to the community in ways that I never even thought of before. So that's really cool. In terms of Jamie actually being trans. Okay, I guess quite trivially, it's nice to have a partner who has experienced living female. The biggest example that pops into my head right now is periods. I am on my period right now and I am in so much pain. And I know for a fact that as soon as I tell Jamie this, he will be like, babe, I'll get it. Chocolate, hot water bottle, blankets, whatever you need, I'm there. And he will be so sensitive to my needs because he understands what it's like. I can't think of any other examples. This could be me stereotyping, it could actually have an influence on Jamie's behaviour, I don't know, but I do think that maybe to an extent him living as male has meant that he has grown up to be a lot more compassionate and in touch with things like feelings and communicating. But then a lot of that could be down to personality too, so yeah. Other positives. You know, having a trans person in a relationship really doesn't affect as much as people would think. So yeah, I guess there's not really much impact. Oh, diversity! Yay, diversity! Are there any funny stories or experiences that have happened because your partner is trans? Okay, that was at Jamie's writing. The binder story that I told you earlier is an experience, I guess, and not a pleasant one. It wasn't the only one. There are a few things that I guess happened to do with Jamie being trans and his feeling of needing to pass really early on that made it difficult, I think, because he wasn't very good at communicating at the time, and I completely understand why. You know, it's not something you want to say, you know, like, I have bits of my body that I'm not happy with and I'm doing this to cover up, so just let me be uncomfortable. I know it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense to me and it's something that I need to do. You know, if he was able to say that, that would have been a lot easier, and of course if I could empathise with that a bit better, that would have also made it easier. Ooh, once, actually a few times, but this is the most prominent one. I had someone who came up to me and my friends, and she knew who Jamie was because of his photo a day video thing that sort of circulated the internet for a little while. She came up to me and she just sort of sat down and really out of the blue just went, oh, so does Jamie have a penis? And I was like, what? And she's just like, does he have a dick? And I was just so in shock that someone would ask such a like blank question just straight out and not realise how many social barriers that broke. And when my friends were just sort of like, maybe you shouldn't say that. And when I was just like, excuse me, just not absorbing what had happened, she just kept asking, so does he have a dick? Yeah, but does he have a dick though? Yeah, but does he? It was just really awkward and uncomfortable. And obviously knowing what I know now and not being in that state of surprise, I should have told her then and there on the spot how rude she was being and how it was none of her business and how she probably needs to take a class in social skills. Not that I answered the question, I just sort of sat there in shock as my friend said, excuse me, that's not an appropriate question to ask. But yeah, that was also an awkward experience that thinking back on, I would have definitely handled differently. Any other experiences? There are a lot of dad jokes that happen at Jamie's family dinners, usually when there are like cucumbers or pickles or cacti involved, where they will make penis jokes. A lot of this is centering around dicks, I'm really sorry. I guess finally, and that's not to do with Jamie being trans, but the fact that he is so open about this online, there are tons of opportunities and really, really awesome experiences that we've been able to take part in that raise trans and LGBT plus awareness as a whole, that are also just really cool. Like, we've met some really cool people, we've gone to really cool events, we've travelled to different countries to take part in certain campaigns, so... Oh, I thought of another one. So Jamie and I were hanging out with some friends. This was back in the day when he'd sort of just come out as trans. He was a baby trans, and we had just met some friends. So we were talking to them about toilets. I don't know how that subject came up, and one of the guys was just like, oh yeah, mate, isn't it really annoying when blah blah blah, urinals. Something about urinals. And Jamie and I just sort of looked at each other, because Jamie obviously had no experience of being in a urinal. And Jamie just went, yeah. And it was just so funny because we obviously knew that Jamie had no clue what he was going on about. But our new friend had no idea that Jamie was trans, and it was just, I don't know, one of those funny, awkward things. It was a you had to be there moment. Moving on. Okay, does it ever bother you that your sexy fiance is trans? No, it doesn't. I think the only times it gets to me is when family things happen, and it's not because I'm like, oh, why do I have to be with someone who's trans? It's more like, oh, I can't believe that people don't understand that trans people are not harming anyone, they're just being themselves. And it makes me feel bad for Jamie, that he has to go through all of this tension and contention to just be who he is. What else about my sexy fiance? I guess it depends on your definition of bother. Sometimes it bothers me that Jamie's trans when I think about kids, because I know that we're going to have issues conceiving. But again, it's not the end of the world, and it's something that we can deal with, so. Okay, next question. How have you felt about the changes from tea and surgeries? Have they changed your relationship? Okay, yes. To be honest, when Jamie and I first got together, I was really worried at the idea of him taking tea. I wasn't quite clued up on what hormones would do, and I just thought, oh, testosterone makes you man, therefore man be aggressive and douchebag, and I just didn't want Jamie to not be the kind, funny, sensitive, adorable person that he was. And I was just like, Jamie, no, you can't take tea, because if you take tea, you're gonna become someone else. That really was a giant worry of mine. I don't know what it was. I just thought Jamie was then all of a sudden gonna sort of turn into a jock and be really aggressive and only care about football, and I know how stereotypical I am being right now. I am sorry, and I completely respect people who are fully that way and fit the stereotype. I just didn't want that as my partner. I didn't want my Jamie to go and be replaced with this whole new personality. But I was so wrong. Jamie taking tea was annoying at times because it meant that every 2 seconds he was up in my face like, Shaba, do I have a beard hair? But really the biggest impact that it had, which was absolutely phenomenal, was his change in confidence. With all of these changes that he was documenting, and especially when he had top surgery, oh my gosh, that was the biggest change of all. He had such a newfound level of confidence, almost like he was a new person, but it was just because it was such a happy and exaggerated version of himself. And I loved that. It was just my Jamie times 100. And so, yeah, the changes that tea and surgeries had on our relationship just made Jamie a more happy and confident him, which therefore made us a more happy, confident us. Does that make sense? And by God did he need it. And even now, like, have you seen the movie Trolls? Like, where Poppy is like this happy little thing all the time and Branch is just this really pessimistic butthole. Now I say that Jamie is Branch because he's pessimistic, and the level of sort of insecurity and pessimism that he had beforehand was so much more. So I'm glad he's a happier person. Final question. Ooh. Does the transliness of your partner affect your relationship at all? Either positively or negatively. So I think the biggest message to take from all of this is that Jamie being trans really doesn't affect our relationship as much as people think it does. I don't know what it is. People just think that Jamie being trans is this all-consuming thing and that it's all we talk about and think about, and the reality is Jamie's transliness affects us as much as we allow it to. It's because Jamie makes videos on it once a week. It's because we run a social enterprise to do with trans equality. It's because of those things that Jamie's transliness is at the forefront of our minds. But that's to do with just trans people in general, you know, raising LGBT plus awareness and striving for LGBT plus equality. It's got nothing really to do with the fact that Jamie in particular is trans. That doesn't affect us. In fact, there are actually times when I forget that Jamie is trans. That is the extent to which his transliness is just not an issue. If anything, as I said before, the biggest negative to Jamie being trans is the issue of kids. It's just because it's slightly uncertain in the future as to how we are going to grow our family. There are ways, and it's really not that much of a negative to do with Jamie being trans because it could happen to anyone who is infertile. And again, the biggest positive, except for Jamie not taking the piss out of me when I have my periods, is the cool opportunities that we get to be involved in. The fact that we get to speak to and meet you guys and go to really cool events and work on really cool campaigns to raise a cause of just being nice to people. So there you go. I think that's it. I think that's all of Jamie's questions. These were very weird to write from a third person perspective, as in saying your partner instead of me. There you go. So guys, that is it from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. I guess if you're interested and you have any more questions about it, pop them below and I'll either respond, or if there's enough and you want to see it, make a second video. Jamie is amazing and his content is amazing and I am only a little bit biased. So if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up and please do click down below on the little subscribe or the bell button. He makes videos every, I should know this, Wednesday and Sunday. Just as I have hijacked Jamie's channel today, he will also be hijacking mine, and I've written him a list of questions which he'll be answering on what it's like to be in a mixed race couple with a brown person. So yeah, check that out if you're interested. I don't know how Jamie ends his videos. Thanks guys, thanks for watching, bye. That is Jamie now, so I will end the video as I would normally end my videos. Be kind and have a great day. Bye!
Shaba, you're so short your camera angle cuts off the top of my head. And you can't see my new haircut! Look guys, all my hair is gone. Shaba cut my hair last night. Do you like it? It's a lot shorter than it's been in months. But anyway, it's real me. I'm here. Hello. I hope you enjoyed that wonderful video from Shaba. She is adorable. She makes awesome content herself. So go check out her channel. The link will be down below. And I think she mentioned this. I have 2 announcements to make to you guys. I can remember the first one, so I'm just going to go with that and hope I remember the second one by the time I've finished explaining the first. Oh, the first was my hair. Oh, okay, my hair. I've already done one apparently, so I have one more announcement for you guys, and that is I have been nominated for a National Diversity Award. Oh my god, very much humbled. Thank you, can't believe it. Wow. If you would like to vote for me, there is a link in the description box below, but absolutely no pressure. Go explore the other nominees and vote for whoever you feel deserves your vote, but I will leave a link down below in case you think that person is me, and thank you in advance. You're all beautiful people. And yeah, actually I think that's it. This is probably a really disgusting camera angle, but I can't see because it's blurry because I need glasses. And yeah, I'm just here to end the video. So I'm sorry you didn't get to see me, but you did get to see somebody a lot more interesting and more beautiful than myself this week. And I will see you guys properly on Sunday, so come catch me then, yes. And you can also catch me on Shaba's channel. I think that's going to be tomorrow, as in Thursday, where I will be talking about being in a interracial couple. That makes sense. Yes, that does make sense. Okay, so I will see you on Shaba's channel tomorrow and back on this channel on Sunday. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Much love. Bye. That's how I end my videos.